Jared Higgins is one of the most influential and popular musicians of all time. Through his meteoric rise, Juice WRLD changed music forever. His emo style of rap went from something to be picked on to one of the fastest rising subgenres in music history. Through numerous huge records and songs, he became an icon. Everyone wanted to be him, and everyone felt like they could connect perfectly with him. His music just hit. The ability for many to find comfortability within his music was second to damn near none. While there's this obvious stereotype of just dorky kids listening to Juice WRLD, his music really was everywhere. It was also enjoyed by just about everyone. He was a trendsetter that set a wave for countless wannabes and careers similar to his. The Juice WRLD effect was real and can still be felt to this day, and to be honest, he'd probably be the biggest artist in the world right now if he was still alive. While his death definitely prolonged his star, he was still meteorically rising up the ranks as one of rap's top stars. Had that plane ride and overdose never happened, who knows where music would be today. Yes, gang, he was that big. The only person you can blame the downfall of Juice WRLD on, though, was Jared himself. Sure, the people he might have had hang around him might not have been the best, but at the end of the day, he still made the decision to stay dabbling in what he dabbled in. And to be honest, that reminds me of someone. That honestly reminds me of my favorite professional wrestler of all time. A man who created his own movement through just being unapologetically himself, just like Jared. Jeff Hardy. Two men that battled very similar struggles. Jeff was not just a professional wrestler, he was an entire subgenre of people who were struggling finding themselves. He was an icon to the youth and to the outcasts. Jeff Hardy was different. There's no possible musician to compare Jeff better to than Juice WRLD. So team me up, gang, and we gonna talk about it. Segue. Hello, welcome back to the channel. We are once again back in action. Want to give you guys more thanks. Thank you for all the support on the past couple videos. Returning like full time to doing this is amazing right now, and I appreciate all the love and support I've gotten so far. None of this would be possible without you guys, so thank you. I could sit here and just give thanks 24/7, but that's not really what we're here for right now, and that's not why you clicked on the video. So today, I'm going to give you kind of like a video essay comparing and contrasting Juice WRLD and Jeff Hardy. Basically comparing Jeff Hardy to Juice WRLD in the professional wrestling sphere. It's pretty self-explanatory, and yeah, we're just gonna get into it for real. So buckle your seatbelts, rip that rubber right off. We finna jump right into it, bro. What better way to jump into it than to compare their early days as well as their come-ups. The come-up of Jeff Hardy is one that has been kind of told quite a few times. He had a dream, he had aspirations, and he had sheer willpower and broke into the professional wrestling business pretty damn early at the age of 16. He's what is fairly commonly known as a prodigy, and a true definition of a success story at such a young age. He bounced around for a little bit and even got a very early WWF opportunity, as we're more than likely all very aware of, as he was a local talent who got squashed every time he was on television, and he had sporadic appearances in jobber tag affairs alongside his brother Matt as well. He very quickly became a cult favorite, however, as not even 6 years into the business, he and Matt formed a legit tag team, the Hardy Boys. And let me tell you, gang, over is an understatement. Literal childhoods were forged by that name alone, the Hardy Boys. His first WWE run is so similar to the Goodbye and Good Riddance days of Juice WRLD. They were both doing just about anything to find who they were, and those TLC matches from the Hardy Boys compared to those early bangers of Juice WRLD such as Lucid Dreams or All Girls Are the Same. I'm saying this because both avenues put them on the map. Another thing they dealt with early on was just themselves. They battled themselves. They both fell into substances fairly early into their careers, and it had an effect on them very heavily. I mean, Jared fell into them before he even started rapping, and they had a heavy influence on his career even starting and his signature sound he would develop. Substance abuse is a topic that will fairly frequently come up here, as you can probably already tell, and it's quite disappointing, because in all actuality, it never leads to a light at the end of the tunnel, and it never leads you anywhere aside from chasing a high that you continuously have to chase on a day-to-day basis to feel anything. It does nothing but lead you further down a rabbit hole that is nearly impossible to get out of. As we all know, it's led to numerous firings, numerous releasings, and numerous fuck-ups from Jeff Hardy throughout the years, and it also led to the death of Juice WRLD, a death at such a young age. The most easily described theme within both of their careers would be self-destruction. Self-destruction. Unfortunately, this is the main idea of Jeff Hardy's entire career. If Jeff Hardy could stay out of his own way, he would have been the single biggest professional wrestler of all time. And I really don't think I'm overestimating that. As crazy as it sounds, he would probably be bigger than John Cena right now. It's just the truth. And again, we don't need to continue to rag on Jeff, as it's pretty openly discussed in the public forum. His numerous incidents, his numerous run-ins with the law, and his numerous public outings being just completely so out of his mind, nodding off of different substances. He could not battle his own personal demons well enough to get out of his own head. And that's quite the same story to that of Jared Higgins, the man that was Juice WRLD. He also, well documentedly, that's not a word, struggled very heavily with substance abuse. It ultimately led to his downfall as well, just like it did with Jeff, but in a much more tragic way. Once again, I'm not going to rag on Juice, as we all know the story by now, but if you don't, Juice passed from a drug overdose on a plane. The details of his death are quite interesting at best, but we lost someone who was already forging a legendary path in music. Through his death, he has still kept his entire fan base basically, and even gained more, despite the corniness within it. This is similar to Jeff, how regardless of what he did or how many opportunities he squandered, he still had his cult of a following. He literally had a cult. Like, both of these dudes literally had cults. It's unfortunate how self-destruction literally killed both of their careers. Now, Jeff still had this 30+ year career, right? But you could only imagine how big Jeff could have gotten if he could just get out of his own head and fight his own demons without needing all the substances. But regardless of the things either of these men did to themselves, and regardless of what anyone said about them, they have continued to have the most devoted fans possible. You may have gotten called corny if you got caught listening to Juice post 2018 and anywhere outside of middle school. Actually, no, that's not a may, you most definitely did. But this is also similar to if you told a John Cena fanboy in elementary school that you preferred Jeff Hardy. You would catch a few differing looks. Wrestling fans in general are like the most loyal fans on the planet. It's kind of self-explanatory, right? But loyal kids who grew up during the Attitude Era, and in all honesty, up until even currently, that term has a whole different meaning. The connection Jeff Hardy had to the people was second to none. Nobody had, and nobody ever will have, the crowd quite like Jeff Hardy had them. This dude was a different type of over. The bigger than Obama in 2008 joke and whatever, he really was that damn big. You can't undersell it. This type of overness in the wrestling sphere can pretty fairly be compared to the wave that Juice created in 2018 following the success of numerous hits such as Lucid Dreams, All Girls Are the Same, They're Rotting My Brain, Lean With Me, and anything else from Goodbye and Good Riddance really. Absolute banger album, by the way. You're lying if you say anything other than that. Not to mention Death Race for Love and his absolute bangers on that record either. Juice seriously took over an entire demographic of loners, edgy middle schoolers, outcasts, and just heartbroken people who wanted an escape from reality through music. And that's another thing both of these people gave to their fans, an escape from reality. When you're watching Jeff Hardy jump off, in the words of Jim Ross, a 20-foot ladder, you forget about everything around you. And when you listen to Armed and Dangerous, you tend to forget about the world around you just the same. Granted, a lot of Juice's songs were targeted to get you in your feels, it still allowed you to express that emotion, which is similar to what Jeff Hardy was more or less teaching every time he went out there, the art of self-expression. These two both presented an outlet for vulnerable people to flock to. It's a beautiful contrast while still being the same damn thing in the grand scheme of it all. These two had the world on lock when they ran this shit, bro. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing a Juice WRLD song. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing Jeff Hardy merchandise. Despite being in two different eras, right? These two had this shit locked down, bro. It cannot be understated just how much Jeff Hardy did in terms of culture. This dude was everything. Jeff Hardy is the culture. He never needed to be anyone other than himself, and through him, an infinite number of wrestling fans were able to find comfortability in being themselves. He never tried to be cool because, in the words of whoever it is that does that monologue talking about Jeff Hardy, he was cool. Jeff made his own wave and his own movement just from being Jeff Hardy. And speaking of creating their own wave, Jared is the same exact way. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Juice WRLD created this idea of emo rap or pioneered anything or did anything completely different to what guys like XXXTentacion, Lil Peep, or anybody around that time were doing. But He created his own wave and own walkway throughout his sphere. He created a connection with a fan base no one had ever really seen. And to get back to Jeff Hardy was the movement. Jeff Hardy was his own target audience, and that's why it worked. And it's very similar to Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD was his own target audience with his music. Jeff created a following of professional wrestlers that wanted to create their own Jeff Hardy moments. He is perhaps the most inspirational wrestler of the Ruthless Aggression era, and left a mark that no one can say they've made since. And this can, again, directly be compared to Juice WRLD, as he is someone who has left a mark on the music industry that hasn't since been replicated through his melodic sound, depressing ass lyrics about substance abuse, and his overall polished nature of who Juice WRLD was. Even to this day, he's still dropping music and it's getting hundreds of millions of streams. Y'all remember when The Party Never Ends dropped? Do you know how many people were sitting at their damn phone waiting for Spotify to drop the album? Like, you can't even put a number on that. He has inspired countless kids to drop out of school and pursue drugs and SoundCloud rapping. Unironically, every middle schooler in 2018 and 2019 wanted to be the next Juice WRLD, and so did every wannabe sad rapper. Through Juice, we got a wave of rappers who took inspiration from him. Some of my favorite rappers out there, such as Dro Kenji, Scory, and Polo G, took direct inspiration from Juice, and Polo was even directly related to Juice in the music sphere, as they had multiple songs together. Even through Juice, we were given the likes of the Kid Laroi, and many people discovered the likes of Lil Tecca through Juice WRLD. Jeff and Juice both created entire bloodlines of memories and inspiration. They created dreams and allowed kids like them to manifest. It's just kind of crazy, the impact they left on just everybody. I get that there were like target demographics for both of them, but they really appealed to everybody. Like, diversity didn't matter, nothing mattered really. They were just two very relatable people that were very easily likable. There's something about these two that just screams comfortability and familiarity. They're so likable because they're so relatable. Through their differing avenues, Juice WRLD and Jeff Hardy carved out countless aspirations within those who they performed for better or for worse. Whether it be Juice WRLD inspiring a middle schooler to take perks, or Jeff Hardy inspiring a 7-year-old to jump off the couch onto a teddy bear on their mama's coffee table that separated into 16 different pieces, they created two separate movements that can be drawn together and compared to. While they contrast just as heavily as they compare, obviously seeing as Jeff was able to recover and continue to be given chance after chance, I think this is the best comparison to make for these two when comparing wrestling and music. These two left generations of smiling faces and will both forever be remembered within their fields of work. Rest in peace, Juice WRLD. And congrats on sobriety, Jeff. As wrestling fans and as people, we're all proud of you. Alright, so I'm gonna segue out of this video. And to do that, I want to take time out of my day to appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I said a whole lot of words there just to get a thank you out, but thank you. If you enjoyed it and if I earned it, I would appreciate it if you left a like on the video as well as subscribe to the channel. We're trying to take over the world over here, and we've actually been doing very well recently, so I'd appreciate any bit of love I can get over here though. Also, you should like join the Discord server. You can pull hella bitches if you join the Discord server. Join the Discord server. We all struggle with that as wrestling fans. So if you want to ever learn how to talk to women and magically be able to take showers and go outside, join the Discord server. It's the opposite of every other Discord server, but like, you know, whatever. I'm trying to sell you a product, man. Buy it already. Join the server. It's free. Probably gonna stream this weekend. I don't really know, but yeah. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. Yeah, that's really all I have. So once again, appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Y'all stay safe. God bless.